Hi, this is Tom from the North American Innovation Team. We're going to run through the demo that's been built for Maple Leaf Foods, just a quick recording as opposed to writing up the actual instructions for the demo itself. You'll receive the link on how the application, or to access the application. It should be authentication free. You should be able to get to it from any device. We're going to use the sensor tag in this demonstration. Sensor tag in the EvoThings bridge. On your EvoThings bridge, you got to make sure that you change your group ID to MLF. That's Mary, Larry, Frank, MLF. And your device you want to change to Pellet 2345. That's Pellet 2345. Now, upon launching the application, it may take a bit of a time for the actual sensor and the EvoThings bridge to connect, and you'll get a wait screen or a loading screen, and then once it's loaded, this screen will appear. Now you notice we have the Maple Leaf pellets, the sensor list in the upper left hand corner. It's already been selected. You should only have one here since you'll be presenting with just one sensor. Directly below that is the actual current location of that sensor. You can see my sensor is obviously in Cleveland, Ohio. Directly next to that and to the right of that is the really slick part of this demo. If I would take that sensor in my car with my EvoThings bridge or my iPhone and have it running and drive somewhere, drive to the customer's location, and then call up the dashboard, it'll actually trace that route right on the screen. So we know exactly where that sensor has been based upon the Google map and the trace route of the actual sensor itself. Very simple process to get it up and running and for it to trace your actual route, but it shows the power of actually tracing that sensor through the HCP platform. Now directly below that is our pellet information. We have temperature, light, and humidity. Those are the actual sensor readings we're tracking. So you see we have a temperature of 74.2, 02. Our light is 0.05, and if I would turn on a light, you can see the actual values begin to climb, and you could see the humidity is at 35.72. Now directly next to that we have the vibration or the movement of that pellet itself. So if the pellet should tip, should it fall, we'd be able to track that information. Now if I hold it still or when I initially launch the dashboard, you may not get any information there. You'll have to shake your sensor or move your sensor a bit, and then it'll start to climb again. I'm shaking my sensor right now. You can see the actual chart changing. Now in the upper right hand corner we have the current weather for where that pellet exists or where that truck is actually driving. So it's the outside weather conditions. So if we do have a situation where we're starting to breach temperature, we'd also want to know the temperature outside, so we would have some sort of indication on how fast our food may spoil. So if it's 32 degrees outside and we have an issue with the truck and the temperature within the truck, it may not spoil as soon as if it were 90 or 95 degrees outside. And we also have the current location of the selected pellet. And this is all GPS driven, or where we call the address via a Google Maps service. Directly below that we have pellet temperature over time. So we begin to see a trend of the actual temperature of the pellet itself. So is it starting to trend up, starting to trend down? Is it relatively steady as we go? And this information is going to be artificially generated based upon the actual values of our sensor, because we only have one sensor in play, and that temperature reading is being fed to this dial here. Directly below that we are taking the temperature reading and we're predicting 6 hours out where we may be, what temperature we may be in 6 hours based upon the trend of the information that we've received. Now if my temperature changes dramatically, goes down from the sensor that I'm holding in my hand, I just simply hit this refresh button or refresh model button, and it'll actually call out and reprint or repaint new data. So we have just a simple, this is not actually the SAP predictive analysis. We're using just a simple predictive algorithm here. Although certainly we'd love to have the SAP predictive analysis a part of this solution, but we just simply did not have the time. And then directly below that, we have on this pellet itself and within which carrier, it's just a simple table if we've had an issue in the past. So with this pellet, we've had a temperature breach with J&J Trucking, and it was an issue with the carrier. And on 6/29, we had a temperature breach with Yellow Trucking, and it was also an issue with the carrier. Now, we did not want to go and start to recommend what may be wrong with a truck, because I doubt that Maple Leaf actually owns the trucks. It's probably the trucking company themselves. So for us to recommend what may be wrong with their truck is just too much of a leap. One additional point to make about this dashboard, and you can't see it in this recording, but if you look in the lower right hand corner of the footer itself, you'll see an icon that looks like a clipboard. If I select it, I can set up my rules engine for sending an SMS message to the CEO or whoever we're giving the presentation to, just by entering this information in this manner. So it's going to be the +, country code, it's going to be an area code, and then your actual phone number. And I'm not going to enter my phone number, but if it was 555-5555, that would be the actual format of the phone number, which goes here. And then we would have our SMS message here. And that's what will be sent via the SMS message. Also, make sure you activate your rules engine. If you don't do that, the message will not send. But it'd be a rather cool part of the presentation to be able to demonstrate this functionality and send that text message to the CEO that we're presenting to. Once I click OK, you should see this rules engine active, this icon right next to the watching pellet piece of the footer. And if we exceed that temperature, then we'll get the actual SMS message. So that's just a simple rundown of the demo and presentation. Again, if you have any questions, just give me a call, Glenn, and we'll go over some of the questions you do have. I hope you like it, and thanks so much.